All right, so in this video, I want to tell you a story about one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my business, and this mistake cost me like over $100,000. So if you're a coach, consultant, or like an agency owner, you might want to watch this video so that you can save $100,000. So, let me just tell you the story. What happened is, last year, we had a really, really good system, like a DM appointment booking system, right? To obviously book like discovery calls for our company so that we can close clients. And so we had a system that was working really, really well, and we had like one person managing this account, right? Like this entire system. This system was booking hundreds of calls every single month. And obviously we were signing dozens of clients, so everything was working really well. And as I said, this entire system was managed by one person, which was an SDR. So if you don't know what an SDR is, it's basically a person, a salesperson within your company that uses one of your systems, right? Whether that's outbound, most of the times it's outbound, and obviously they use that system so they can obviously acquire leads and clients for your company. So anyways, we had an SDR that was managing this entire DM system. That SDR was managing multiple different accounts. And again, we were booking a lot of calls. Like we were booking hundreds of calls every single month. We were signing dozens of clients. We were making a lot of money. That SDR was making a lot of money because they're paid on commission, or whatever. So he was making a lot of money. Everyone was basically happy. So everything was going nice and well. And so we were making like about 50K per month at that point. So again, everything was really nice, was going really well at that time. But what happened is, all of a sudden, this SDR, and again, keep in mind that we only had like one SDR managing the whole system, and basically one SDR was booking all of the calls for our agency, for our company. And so he was basically in full control over the business because, if he decided to go do something else, then we were pretty much screwed because he was doing everything, right? So this is exactly what happened, right? So he decided that he wanted to go away. It was like a personal reason, and because we had all of our eggs in one basket in the sense that he was managing the whole system. Again, he was booking all of our discovery calls for the company. And again, he was happy because he was making a lot of money. We were happy because we were making a lot of money, right? So we were signing a lot of clients, booking a lot of calls. So everything was going well. Like nobody would have thought that, he would go away because again, he was happy and he still was happy, but for a personal reason, he decided to step out of the company. So what happened is, our revenue at that point went from like 50K to, I would say, like probably 10 to 20K per month. So obviously was a huge dip, and like that K as well, was, we generated 10K because we still had calls booked from him. All right. And so what happened is our entire system that was generating leads and, clients for our company basically fell off because this one person who was in control of everything went away. And so at that time, this like system that I'm talking about, the DM system that was managed by the SDR, was the only system that we had in place to be able to book calls and to sign clients. Now, here is the problem. The problem is that you don't want to hold all of your eggs in one basket, duh, right? Which is, quite obvious. And you don't want to rely on just one single system that gets you the clients, right, in your business. Now, this is quite obvious, but the reason why we've made this mistake is because a lot of people, are talking about focus and the fact that you should just focus on one funnel, keep improving it over and over and over again, like optimize it. You don't want to like basically focus on too many things at the same time, right? So you want to be focused, like don't try 1,000 different things at the same time because that is bad. And while that is true, you also again got to keep in mind that the system that you have and that it's hyper optimized, because this is exactly what we had, this system might break down. Like literally anything could happen. And this happens all the times with Facebook ads. Like for example, if you're doing really well with your company, you're making like whatever 200K per month, 300K per month with your company, but your only lead source is Facebook ads, or like let's say that 80% of your clients are coming from Facebook ads, then you're screwed because you're basically keeping all of your eggs in one basket. So again, even though that system works really well for you, you got to be very careful because what can happen is your ads account can get shut down or your SDR can leave. So it's a really important lesson to not hold all of your eggs in one basket. And what that means is basically, try to diversify the sources of leads, try to have multiple systems in place. to get clients for your business. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to do like 1,000 different things at the same time, like posting, sending emails, like sending cold DMs, like doing webinars, doing YouTube videos, doing this and that and this and that, right? You don't need to do that. But I would say you need to have at least like three active systems, like three active client acquisition systems. So that means that if my met is right, right, you would have like an even split, right, between three different systems. So what that can look like if you want to do it organically, like you have a DM system, you have an email system, and you have like I don't know, like a paid ad system, right? Obviously, that's not organic, but you do get the point. You have like three different systems that are generating leads for you. Because what happens if your Facebook ads account gets shut down, you have two other sources of leads that are going to keep you alive. Or if like something happens, like your SDR goes away, like again, you have like something for backup. Now, you can still run just one system, right? It's a little bit riskier, but like you can still, for example, run like a DM appointment booking system, but you got to make sure that you don't just only have one person that's running everything, right? Like, you got to have multiple people. Like, you got to have at least four SDRs, okay, to make sure that you are backed up. And in case like someone goes away or something happens, again, you have multiple sources of leads and of clients. And again, this might be obvious, like, well, duh, you need to have, multiple different systems in place. But the thing is this, like, again, a lot of people talk about like just hyper optimizing one funnel and focusing on that one, get that into KPI and make that funnel really, really successful and really efficient. And while that is true, that doesn't mean that you need to take it into an extreme and just have literally one funnel, because it's very dangerous, right? That funnel goes away, your whole business goes away, and then you're pretty much screwed. So what happened, back then, like last year, it took us probably 3 months to rebuild like everything that we had, because as you can imagine, I had to go and hire a lot of people, right, which took me a lot of time. Like it's not like an instant process, right? Like you have to talk to people, you have to do interviews, see which one is the best fit. Then we have the ramp up phase, right? Like you need to ramp them up. That also takes a couple of weeks. So really huge mistake. So right now what we do is we have multiple client acquisition systems. Each one of them is obviously hyper optimized, but again, it's a huge mistake, right? So, yep, you should focus on like one funnel at a time and try to hyper optimize it and make it better and better and better every single month. But you also need to have multiple systems in place. Otherwise, again, you're screwed. So, really important lesson right here. I wanted to share that with you. Always have multiple different client acquisition systems that you actively use in your business and try to optimize each one of them, because you're going to see inevitably at one point something is going to break in one system and the volume from that system is going to go down. You want to have a backup, so always have a backup. Never hold all of your eggs in one basket. So even though you have a system that's working really well and you're like, damn, this system is working really well, should just double down on it. Well, yeah, you should do that, but you should also have like a backup instead that one breaks. So maybe it's an obvious lesson, but again, there's like two kind of like contradicting pieces of advice out there. So, which is number one, focus on one thing at a time and just like, focus on one thing. And number two, obviously, which is this one, like have multiple different systems in place so that you're good. So, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you find it valuable, just smash the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, if you want to grow your business as a coach consultant, right? I have a link in the description. We have a pretty cool offer that is based on results, so you might want to check it out. But if not, it's all good. I'm not gonna be mad. So I'll see you in the next video.